Hi folks, I wish to share with you a few thoughts on the chilling effect of what I had just seen and learned at the Genocide Memorial behind me here in Kigali, Rwanda, in East Africa. These are all mass graves surrounding me. This space, whose purpose is to remember and help overcome one of the most horrifying genocides of the 20th century, the one perpetrated by extremist Hutus against Tutsis and moderate Hutus in the 1990s, where more than 250,000 victims are buried out of a total of between 500,000 and 1 million, we will never know for sure, is a place that every human being on earth should be able to visit. Not so much because here we learn the infinite cruelty and evil of which human beings are capable, and also the extreme humanity and moral excellence and virtue that we can attain when a tragedy puts a horrifying mirror in front of us and we become aware of the need to reconcile ourselves with civilization, as this heartrending and moving museum does. But for another reason, because here we can see more than 30 years after this genocide, where something that is spreading like wildfire all over the planet can lead in the long run. I am referring to tribalism, which is poisoning our political, social, and cultural life, even in the most advanced countries. Tribalism is the blatant exploitation of the instinct of tribe that we all have inside us. That impulse that makes us feel that we only exist if we enclose ourselves within a group, that only belonging to that group, to that collective entity, guarantees our survival, and that other groups endanger our existence. Bewitched by the lie of a unique, immutable collective identity, we have divided ourselves into tribes that hate each other and in which it is forbidden to think by ourselves, much less to dissent, because to do so means pertaining to the opposite tribe. Civilization had taught us that the identity of a person is made up of many elements that may coincide with some elements that form the identity of people very different from us in other respects, so that we are never exactly like anyone else and we never fit into a single group in a definitive and total way, but rather we share different traits with different groups, and therefore social life is only possible if we protect that precious thing that is the individual. A perverse sense of belonging and loyalty means that today we are obliged to choose one tribe or the other and to engage in collectivist hatred of rival tribes. Politics in the United States, where I have lived for a long time, has become brutally tribal. In Europe, something similar is happening, and of course in other less advanced areas of the planet as well. The tribal spirit means that today one cannot criticize the daily massacres in Gaza without being labeled an anti-Semite, or criticize the fanaticism of Islamist groups without being accused of complicity with Tel Aviv. That one cannot object to the economic nationalism, i.e. the economic illiteracy of some members of the US government without being accused of being an enemy of the United States, or denounce the stupidity of progressive wokeism, that form of cultural tribalism, without being accused of being an exploiter. Tribalism is a lens through which we see society only in terms of victims and victimizers, and justifies everything, persecuting those who think differently, limiting or repressing free speech, as the courts of justice are doing in Brazil, for example, not to mention Latin American or Middle Eastern dictatorships, or invading countries or treating foreigners as if they were cockroaches. Tribalism has instilled fear in us. It has de-individualized us so that we no longer think for ourselves, and it forces us to accept the complete package of beliefs and practices of this or that political or ethnic or social group. And very often it is only a deceitful justification for the instinct of authoritarian power of the cynical tribal chiefs who stir our baser, ignoble passions with fruition. That, precisely that, is what produced the genocide that this heartbreaking, terrifying, beautiful, inspiring memorial all at once commemorates, with the aim of preventing its recurrence. That's why those of us who believe in the values of freedom must not give in to the blackmail of the tribe, of any tribe, not even of the tribe that purports in the name of freedom to appropriate it. And that we must, even if it seems today that we are marginalized and in the minority, redouble our efforts to remind those who have lost sight of it that only tolerance, pluralism, and peaceful coexistence under legal and political guarantees that are the negation of tribalism, because they protect the individual regardless of ethnicity, religion, creed, or custom, allowed civilization to advance in certain parts of the world. Visiting this memorial in Kigali, Rwanda, is a good way to relearn those forgotten lessons.